The garden gate hung open. Celestine stopped walking. Her basket of herbs slipped from her fingers. The dried lavender scattered across the stone path like purple snow. The gate was never open. She had locked it herself that morning. She always locked it. The garden was her secret, her only safe place in this cold manor house. Now someone had been inside. Her heart beat faster. She stepped through the gate. The afternoon sun made long shadows across the rose bushes. Everything looked the same. The stone bench under the willow tree, the fountain with moss growing on its edges, the herb beds she tended every morning. But something felt different. Someone had been here. Celestine walked slowly down the path. Her brown dress brushed against the rosemary plants. The smell rose up sharp and clean. She breathed it in. It usually calmed her. Not today. Her eyes moved across every corner of the garden, looking, searching. Then she saw him. A man stood by the far wall. His back was to her. He wore a dark coat. His black hair touched his collar. He was tall, very tall. His shoulders were broad under the expensive fabric. He was reading something. Celestine's blood went cold. She knew what he was reading. "Put that down," she said. Her voice shook. The man turned around slowly. His face made her breath catch. Strong jaw, sharp cheekbones, eyes so dark they looked black in the shadow. But it was not his beauty that scared her. It was the way he looked at her, like he could see through her skin, like he knew things he should not know. He held up a piece of paper, old, yellow. The ink faded. Her letter. The letter she had buried 5 years ago under the rose bush by the wall. The letter no one was supposed to find. Ever. "You dropped this," he said. His voice was deep, calm, too calm. "That is mine," Celestine said. She stepped forward. Her hands became fists. "Give it back." "I found it in the garden," the man said. "Your garden, I assume." "Yes, my garden, my letter. Give it to me." He looked down at the letter again. His eyes moved across the words. Words she had written when she was 17. Words that could destroy her. "Interesting reading," he said. "You have no right." "I have every right." He folded the letter carefully, put it in his coat pocket. "This garden belongs to Thornbury Manor. Thornbury Manor belongs to my family. Everything in this garden belongs to me." Celestine felt the world tilt. "Your family," she whispered. "I am Ronan Thornbury," he said, "the new master of this estate. I arrived this morning." No. No, no, no. The master was supposed to be old, sick, living in London. That was what the housekeeper had told her. The master never came here. The manor was empty except for servants. That was why Celestine had taken the position. That was why she felt safe. But this man was not old. He was maybe 30, and he was here, standing in her garden, holding her letter, holding her secrets. "I did not know you were coming," Celestine said. She tried to keep her voice steady. "Mrs. Hartwell did not tell me." "I told no one," Ronan said. "I wanted to see the place as it really is, without preparation, without performance." He stepped closer. Celestine wanted to step back, but she did not move. She would not show fear. Not to him. Not to any man. "Who are you?" Ronan asked. "Celestine Grey. I am the herbalist. I tend the garden. I make medicines for the village." "Celestine Grey." He said her name slowly, like he was tasting it. "And what was Celestine Grey doing burying letters in my garden?" "That is my business. Everything in this garden is my business." They stared at each other. The air between them felt heavy, thick, like before a storm. "The letter is old," Celestine said. "It means nothing now." "Then why bury it?" Ronan asked. "Why hide it so carefully under the roses? Why lock the garden gate every day?" How do you know I lock the gate? Mrs. Hartwell mentioned it. She said you are very particular about your garden, very private. She thought it was charming. He smiled. It was not a warm smile. I thought it was suspicious. Celestine's heart pounded. I grow valuable herbs, she said. I cannot have people stealing them. Is that all? Yes. You are lying. The words hit her like a slap. I am not. Your hands are shaking, Ronan said. Your face is pale. Your breathing is too fast. You are terrified. People do not become terrified over old letters that mean nothing. He was right. She was terrified, but she would not admit it. Give me the letter, she said. Please. No. It is mine. You have no right to keep it. I have every right. You buried it on my property. That makes it mine. Celestine felt tears burn behind her eyes. She would not cry. She had not cried in 5 years. She would not start now. What do you want? She asked quietly. Ronan tilted his head, studied her. I want the truth, he said. I want to know why a beautiful woman is hiding in my garden. I want to know what is in this letter that scares you so much. I want to know who you really are, Celestine Gray. Beautiful. He had called her beautiful. That made it worse somehow. I cannot tell you, she whispered. Cannot or will not? Both. Ronan was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, I will make you a deal. Celestine looked up. His dark eyes held hers. What kind of deal? Stay, he said. Keep working in the garden. I need an herbalist. The village needs your medicines. But you will also answer my questions. Slowly, in your own time. And when I finally understand why you buried this letter, I will decide what to do with it. That is not a deal, Celestine said. That is a threat. Yes, Ronan agreed. It is. She wanted to run, pack her things, leave the manor, disappear again like she had 5 years ago. But where would she go? She had no money, no family, no friends. This position was all she had. This garden was all she had. And he knew it. Fine, she said. The word tasted bitter. I will stay. Good. He walked past her. His shoulder almost brushed hers. She caught his smell. Leather. Smoke. Something darker underneath. He stopped at the gate. One more thing, he said without turning around. I will be watching you, Celestine Gray. Very closely. Then he was gone. Celestine stood alone in the garden. The sun was setting. The roses looked black in the fading light. She had worked so hard to bury her past, to become someone new, someone safe. But Ronan Thornbury had dug it all up in one afternoon. And she did not know what terrified her more. The secrets he had found. Or the way her heart had raced when he called her beautiful. Celestine did not sleep that night. She lay in her small room in the servants' quarters. The ceiling was low. The walls were bare. But it was hers. Safe. Private. Except now it did not feel safe anymore. She kept thinking about the letter. About what Ronan would do when he read it completely. About what he would learn. Her real name. Her real family. The reason she ran. Morning came too soon. Celestine dressed in her gray work dress, tied her dark hair back with a ribbon, looked at herself in the small mirror. She looked tired, pale. Her blue eyes had shadows underneath. She forced herself to breathe slowly. She had survived worse than this. She could survive Ronan Thornbury. She had to. Celestine went down to the kitchen. Cook was already there. A large woman with red cheeks and flour on her apron. She smiled when she saw Celestine. There you are, love, Cook said. Did you hear the news? The master arrived yesterday. Can you imagine? After all these years. I heard, Celestine said quietly. Handsome devil, is not he? Cook laughed. I saw him this morning, tall as a tree, eyes like midnight. The maids are all aflutter. Celestine poured herself tea, said nothing. He wants to see you, Cook added. Celestine's hand froze. What? The master. He asked Mrs. Hartwell to send you to the library after breakfast. Something about the garden, she said. Of course. He was starting already. The questions, the pressure, the slow unraveling of everything she had built. Did he say what he wanted? Celestine asked. No, love, but you best not keep him waiting. He seems the type who does not like waiting. Celestine finished her tea. It was bitter. She had forgotten to add honey. She walked through the manor slowly. The house was old, beautiful. Dark wood panels on the walls, portraits of dead Thornberrys staring down from every hallway. High ceilings with painted angels. It felt like a tomb. The library was in the east wing. Celestine had only been inside once. It was a huge room, walls covered in books, a fireplace big enough to stand in, windows that looked out over the gardens. The door was open. Celestine stood in the doorway. Ronan sat behind a massive desk, papers spread out in front of him. He was reading something. A line creased between his eyebrows. He looked focused, intent. Then he looked up. His eyes locked on hers. Come in, he said. Close the door. Celestine's heart jumped, but she did what he said. Closed the door, walked to the desk. Sit, Ronan said. He pointed to a chair across from him. She sat. They looked at each other. You look tired, he said finally. I did not sleep well. Guilty conscience? No, worried mind. A small smile touched his lips. Honest, I like that. You said you wanted the truth. I do. He leaned back in his chair. So let us start simply. How long have you worked here? 3 years. And before that? I worked in a village to the north, as a healer's apprentice. The healer's name? Celestine hesitated. Why does it matter? I want to verify your story. Why? Do you not trust me? No, Ronan said simply. I do not. The words should have stung, but Celestine felt oddly relieved. At least he was honest too. Her name was Margaret Poole, Celestine said. She is dead now, 2 years ago. Fever. I am sorry. Are you? Yes, he sounded like he meant it. Death is always sad, even when we do not know the person. Celestine looked down at her hands. Margaret had been kind, one of the few kind people she had known. The woman had taken her in when she had nowhere to go, taught her about herbs, about healing, about hiding. Where did you live before the village? Ronan asked. Why do you care? Because I want to know who you are. I am Celestine Grey, an herbalist. That is all you need to know. But it is not all I want to know. His voice was soft, but there was steel underneath. Celestine met his eyes. You cannot force me to tell you. Can I not? No. I have your letter. That letter is 5 years old. It proves nothing. It proves you are running from something. Someone. Celestine's breath caught. He had read it. All of it. What did it say? She whispered. Ronan pulled the letter from his coat pocket, unfolded it carefully. It says, he read slowly, that you are sorry, that you had no choice, that you hope someday they will understand. He looked up. Who is they, Celestine? She did not answer. It also says you will never go back, that you would rather die than return. His voice grew quieter. What were you running from? A husband? A family? A crime? I will not tell you. Then I will find out myself. How? I have resources, money, connections. I can send letters to every village in England if I have to. Someone will know who you are. Someone will recognize your description. Celestine felt cold. He was right. If he tried hard enough, he would find out. It would take time, but he would succeed, unless she stopped him. "What do you want from me?" she asked. Her voice was raw. Ronan leaned forward, his dark eyes intense. "I want you to trust me," he said. That shocked her. "Trust you? You are threatening to expose me." "I am trying to understand you." "Why? Why do you care?" He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "Because I know what it is like to run." Celestine stared at him. "You?" she said. "You are a lord, a master. You have everything." "I have nothing," Ronan said quietly. "I have money and a title and an empty house full of ghosts. I have a family name covered in shame. I have a father who drank himself to death and a mother who abandoned me when I was 10 years old. I have spent my entire life running from this place, and now I am back because there is nowhere left to run." His words hung in the air. Celestine had not expected that, had not expected honesty. Raw, painful. "I am sorry," she said softly. "Do not be. I am only telling you so you understand. I know what secrets feel like. I know what shame feels like. And I know what it is like to bury things in gardens, hoping they will never be found." He held her gaze. "So tell me, Celestine, what are you burying?" She wanted to tell him, suddenly, desperately, but the fear was stronger. "I cannot," she whispered. Ronan nodded slowly. "Then I will wait." "Wait?" "Yes. I told you, I will not force you, but I will watch you, and slowly, piece by piece, I will understand." He stood up. "You may go," he said, "back to your garden. But remember, I am watching." Celestine stood. Her legs felt weak. She walked to the door, her hand on the handle. Then she heard him say, "Celestine." She turned. "Yes?" "You are safe here," Ronan said. His voice was gentle. "Whatever you are running from, whoever you are hiding from, you are safe in my house. I promise you that." The words should not have made her want to cry, but they did. She left quickly, before he could see the tears. The next week passed strangely. Celestine worked in the garden every day. She planted new herbs, pruned the roses, mixed medicines for the village. The work was the same, but everything felt different. Because Ronan was always there. Not physically, but she could feel him watching. Sometimes she would look up and see him at a window, standing, staring down at the garden. Sometimes she would hear footsteps on the path behind her. She would turn. No one would be there. But she knew. He was keeping his promise. He was watching. It should have made her angry. Instead, it made her nervous, aware. Her skin felt sensitive. Her heart beat faster. She told herself it was fear, but she was starting to think it was something else. On the 8th day, Ronan came to the garden. It was late afternoon. The sun was low, the light golden. Celestine was cutting lavender. She heard the gate open, looked up. He stood in the entrance, tall, dark. His white shirt was open at the collar, his sleeves rolled up. He looked less like a lord, more like a man. "May I join you?" he asked. "It is your garden," Celestine said, "but it is your sanctuary." The word surprised her. Sanctuary. Yes, that was what it was. "You may stay," she said. Ronan walked down the path, stopped beside her, looked at the lavender in her basket. "It smells like summer," he said. "It helps with sleep and headaches. I could use some. I have not slept well since I arrived." "Why?" He smiled slightly. I keep thinking about buried letters and mysterious women. Celestine felt her cheeks warm. She looked down, focused on cutting. May I help? Ronan asked. That surprised her. You want to cut lavender? Why not? You are the master. You do not do this kind of work. Perhaps I want to. She handed him a knife. Cut just below the flower. Leave some stem. He took the knife. Their fingers brushed, just for a second, but Celestine felt it. A spark, a heat. She pulled her hand back quickly. Ronan said nothing, but she saw his jaw tighten. They worked in silence, side by side, cutting lavender. The smell surrounded them, sweet, clean. Tell me about herbs, Ronan said after a while. What do you want to know? Everything. How you learned. What you love about it. Why you chose this life. Celestine thought carefully. I did not choose it. It chose me. How? When I left my old life, I had nothing. No skills, no money. I met Margaret by chance. She was kind. She taught me. Gave me purpose. What did your old life look like? There it was. The question. Celestine cut another stem. Different. Better or worse? Both. Neither. She paused. It was not mine. That is what mattered. Ronan was quiet. Then he said, I understand that. My life was not mine either. It belonged to my father. His expectations, his failures, his shame. Is that why you left? Yes. I went to India for 5 years, worked, built my own fortune, became my own man. Why come back? Because he died, and someone had to take responsibility. Someone had to fix what he broke. Celestine looked at him, really looked at him. His face was hard, strong, but there was sadness underneath. Old sadness, the kind that never fully heals. You are a good man, she said softly. Ronan laughed. It was a bitter sound. No, I am not. You could have abandoned this place, let it fall apart, but you came back. That does not make me good. That makes me responsible. It makes you both. He turned to her, his dark eyes intense. You do not know me, Celestine. Neither do you know me. But I want to. The words hung between them. The air felt thick, charged, like before lightning strikes. Celestine's heart raced. She could not look away from him, could not breathe. Master Thornbury, a voice called. They both jumped. Mrs. Hartwell stood at the gate. The housekeeper looked flustered. Yes, Ronan called. His voice was steady, but Celestine heard the frustration underneath. You have a visitor, sir. A gentleman from London. He says it is urgent. Ronan's jaw clenched. Tell him I will be there shortly. Yes, sir. Mrs. Hartwell left. Ronan looked back at Celestine. I have to go. I know. Will you be here tomorrow? I am here every day. Then I will see you tomorrow. He handed her the knife. Their fingers touched again. This time, neither pulled away. Celestine, he said quietly. Yes? I am glad you stayed. Then he was gone. Celestine stood alone in the garden, her heart pounding, her hands shaking. What was happening? This was dangerous. So dangerous. She could not let herself feel anything for Ronan Thornbury. He was the master. She was a servant. He had her letter, her secrets. He had power over her. But when he looked at her, she did not feel powerless. She felt alive. And that terrified her more than anything. 3 days passed. Ronan did not come to the garden. Celestine told herself she was relieved. It was better this way, safer. But she kept looking at the gate, waiting, hoping. She hated herself for it. On the fourth day she saw him again, but not in the garden. She had gone to the village to deliver medicines, an old woman with joint pain, a child with a fever, a young mother whose baby would not sleep. Celestine carried her basket through the narrow streets. The village was small. Stone houses with thatched roofs, a church with a cracked bell, a tavern where men drank and argued. She was walking past the tavern when she heard raised voices, shouting, angry. Then she heard Ronan. "I said no. That is final." Celestine stopped, looked through the tavern window. Ronan stood inside. His back was straight, his hands were fists. He faced a group of men, large men, rough men. One of them stepped forward. He was huge, a scar across his cheek. "You cannot refuse," the man said. "Your father agreed. He gave his word." "My father is dead," Ronan said coldly. "His word died with him." "Then you are a coward, just like him." Ronan moved fast. One moment he was still. The next, his fist was in the man's face. The man stumbled back. Blood poured from his nose. The other men surged forward. Celestine's heart stopped. Ronan would be hurt. Badly. She should leave. This was not her business. But her feet moved. She was inside the tavern before she thought about it. "Stop!" she shouted. Everyone froze. The men turned, looked at her. She must have looked strange. A woman in a plain dress, holding a basket of herbs, standing in a tavern full of angry men. "Get out of here, girl," one man growled. "This is not for women." "Master Thornbury," Celestine said. She ignored the man, looked only at Ronan. "Mrs. Hartwell sent me. She says you are needed at the manor. Immediately. Something about an emergency." It was a lie, but her voice was calm, steady. Ronan stared at her, his dark eyes unreadable. Then he nodded slowly. "Of course." He turned to the men. "We will finish this later." "You cannot run forever," the scarred man said. "I am not running. I am choosing when to fight." Ronan walked past them, took Celestine's arm, led her outside. They walked quickly, away from the tavern, around the corner, into an empty alley. Then Ronan stopped, let go of her arm. "There is no emergency, is there?" he said. "No." "You lied." "Yes." "Why?" Celestine looked at him. His lip was bleeding, his knuckles were bruised. "Because you would have been hurt," she said. "There were 5 of them. You would have lost." "Perhaps I wanted to fight." "Why? What did they want?" Ronan's jaw tightened. "Nothing that concerns you. You are bleeding." "It is nothing." "It is not nothing." Celestine set down her basket, pulled out a clean cloth, reached up. Ronan caught her wrist. "Do not." "Why?" "Because I do not deserve your kindness. That is not for you to decide." She pulled her wrist free, gently touched the cloth to his lip. He stood very still, his eyes locked on hers. This close she could see the details of his face. A small scar on his chin, flecks of brown in his black eyes, the way his breath came faster. "What did those men want?" she asked quietly. "My father made a deal with them. A bad deal. They want me to honor it." "What kind of deal?" "The kind that ruins lives." Celestine understood. "And you refused?" "Yes." "They will not let it go." "I know." "Will they hurt you?" "They will try." Fear spiked through her. "You should leave. Go back to London. Anywhere." "I cannot." "Why?" "Because I am tired of running." He caught her hand, held it against his face. "I spent 5 years running from this place, from my father's legacy, from who I was supposed to be. I will not run anymore." His skin was warm under her palm. She could feel his heartbeat, fast, strong. "Even if it gets you killed," she whispered. "Even then." "That is foolish." "Yes," he smiled slightly, "but it is my choice." Celestine understood that. Choice. It was everything. "What was the deal?" she asked. Ronan hesitated. Then he said, "My father borrowed money. A lot of money. He could not pay it back. So he promised them land, part of the estate." "Why not just give it to them?" "Because that land holds the village homes. If I give it away, those men will evict everyone. They will tear down the houses, build factories. They do not care about people, only profit." Celestine felt something warm spread in her chest. He was protecting the village, protecting people he barely knew. "There has to be another way," she said. "If there is, I have not found it." "How much money?" £5,000. Celestine's breath caught. That was a fortune, an impossible amount. "Do you have it?" "No. I spent everything I had repairing the manor, paying my father's other debts. I have nothing left." They stood in the alley. His hand still held hers against his face. "We will find a way," Celestine said. "We?" She realized what she had said. "We, not you." "I meant—" "No." Ronan's eyes softened. "I know what you meant. Thank you." "For what?" "For caring, even when you should not." Celestine pulled her hand away, stepped back. This was too much. Too close. "I should go," she said. "Celestine, your lip has stopped bleeding. You should go home." "Wait." But she was already walking away, back to the village, back to safety. Except she did not feel safe anymore. She felt awake, alive, terrified, because she was starting to care about Ronan Thornbury, and that was the most dangerous thing of all. That night, Celestine could not sleep again. She lay in her small bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Ronan, about his debt, about the men who wanted to destroy the village, about the way his hand had felt holding hers. She should not care. This was not her problem, but it felt like her problem. The village had been kind to her. These people had accepted her. No questions, no judgment. She could not let them lose their homes, and she could not let Ronan face those men alone. An idea formed in her mind, dangerous, terrifying, but possible. Celestine got out of bed, lit a candle, pulled out a small wooden box from under her mattress. She had not opened this box in 3 years. Her hands shook as she lifted the lid. Inside was a ring, gold, with a blue stone. The only thing she had taken when she ran, the only thing from her old life. It had belonged to her grandmother. It was worth money, a lot of money, enough to help Ronan. But if she sold it, there would be questions. Where did a servant get such a ring? Who was she really? Selling it would expose her, but keeping it would let innocent people suffer. Celestine held the ring up to the candlelight. The stone sparkled, blue as deep water. She remembered her grandmother, soft hands, kind eyes, the smell of rosewater. "Use it wisely," her grandmother had said, "when you have no other choice." Was this that moment? Celestine did not know. She put the ring back in the box, closed the lid. She would think about it tomorrow, in the daylight, when her mind was clearer. But sleep did not come. She kept thinking about Ronan, about his bleeding lip, about the way he had said, "We will find a way," about the way she wanted to find a way, with him. Morning came slow and grey. Celestine dressed, went to the garden. The roses needed trimming. The herbs needed watering. Work would distract her. But when she opened the gate, Ronan was already there. He sat on the stone bench under the willow tree. His head was in his hands. He looked exhausted, broken. Celestine's heart clenched. "Ronan?" she said softly. He looked up. His eyes were red. He had not slept either. "I am sorry," he said. "I should not be here." "What happened?" "They came to the manor last night. Those men. They gave me 3 days. 3 days to pay the debt, or they will take the land." 3 days? That is impossible. "I know." He laughed bitterly. "I have failed. The village, the estate, everything." Celestine walked to him, sat beside him on the bench. "You have not failed." "Yes, I have." "No, you tried. You fought. That is not failure." "What is it then?" "It is courage." Ronan looked at her. His eyes were so sad. "I do not feel courageous. I feel helpless." Celestine made a decision. She reached into her pocket, pulled out the wooden box. "What is that?" Ronan asked. "Hope." She opened the box, showed him the ring. His eyes widened. "Celestine, that is... Where did you get this?" "It belonged to my grandmother." "It is worth a fortune." "I know. I cannot take it." "You are not taking it. I am giving it to you." "No." He closed the box, pushed it back to her. "Absolutely not." "Ronan, this is yours, your family's, your past. I will not take it from you." "What good is the past if the present is destroyed?" Celestine asked. "What good is this ring if people lose their homes, if you lose everything you have worked for?" "I will not let you sacrifice this for me." "It is not for you. It is for them, the village, the people." "That is a lie." Ronan's voice was rough. "You are doing this for me, and I will not allow it." "You cannot stop me." "Yes, I can. I refuse to accept it." They glared at each other. Then Celestine said, "Why? Why will you not let me help you?" "Because you have already lost too much," Ronan shouted. The words echoed in the garden. He stood up, paced, his hands in his hair. "I read your letter, Celestine. I read it over and over. You lost your home, your family, your name. You lost everything and ran with nothing. You rebuilt yourself from ashes, and now you want to give away the one piece you have left? No, I will not let you destroy yourself for me." Tears burned in Celestine's eyes. "I am not destroying myself. I am choosing. Finally, after 5 years of hiding and running and being afraid, I am choosing to do something good, something that matters. Do not take that from me." Ronan stopped pacing, looked at her. "Why does it matter to you?" he asked quietly. "Why do you care what happens to me, to this place?" Celestine stood up, walked to him. "Because you made me care," she said. Her voice shook. "Because you saw me, really saw me. Not the servant, not the herbalist. Me, the person underneath. And because when you look at me, I do not feel like I am hiding anymore. I feel like I am home." The words hung in the air. Ronan stared at her. Then he closed the distance between them. His hands cupped her face, gentle, trembling. "Celestine," he whispered. "Yes?" "I am going to kiss you." "Yes." His lips touched hers, soft, careful, like she was made of glass. Celestine's breath left her. Her hands gripped his shirt, held on. The kiss deepened. Ronan's arms wrapped around her, pulled her close. She could feel his heartbeat against hers, fast, wild. This was wrong, dangerous, impossible. But it felt like the only right thing she had ever done. When they finally pulled apart, they were both breathing hard. "I should not have done that," Ronan said. "I am glad you did. You are a servant. I am the master. This cannot happen." "It already did." He touched her face, traced her cheek with his thumb. "I do not care about your past, Celestine. I do not care who you were or what you ran from. I only care about who you are now, and I am falling in love with who you are now." Celestine's heart stopped. "Love," he said, "love." "You do not know me," she whispered. "Then tell me everything. Let me know you." This was the moment, the choice. Keep hiding, keep the secrets, keep the walls, or let him in. Celestine took a shaky breath. "My real name is not Celestine Gray," she said. Ronan waited. "It is Celestine Ashford. I am the daughter of Lord Henry Ashford. I was engaged to be married when I was 17, to a man I did not love. A cruel man. He hurt me. Not with fists, but with words, with control. He owned me. My father allowed it because the man had money, power." Her voice broke, but she kept going. "The night before the wedding, I ran. I stole my grandmother's ring and ran. My father sent men to find me, to drag me back, to force me to marry. But I hid, changed my name, learned herbs so I could survive. And I buried that letter in your garden 3 years ago because I needed to bury who I was. I needed to become someone new." Tears streamed down her face now. "That is who I am, Ronan. A coward, a runaway, a liar." Ronan's hands were still on her face. He looked at her with such intensity. "No," he said fiercely. "You are a survivor. You are brave. You are strong. You saved yourself when no one else would. There is no shame in that. There is only courage. My father might still be looking for me. Then I will protect you. The man I was supposed to marry will never touch you again. I promise you that." Celestine sobbed. 5 years of fear, 5 years of hiding, it all poured out. Ronan held her, let her cry, whispered soft words into her hair. When she finally stopped, she felt empty, hollow, but also lighter. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For not hating me." "I could never hate you." He kissed her forehead. "Never." They stood in the garden, holding each other. The sun rose higher. The day began, but everything had changed. Celestine had told her truth, and Ronan still held her. The next 2 days passed in a blur. Ronan took Celestine's ring to London, to sell it, to save the village. She waited at the manor, worked in the garden, tried not to think about what would happen. But she could not stop thinking. About Ronan, about the kiss, about the way he had said he was falling in love with her. Did she love him? She did not know. She had never been in love before. The engagement had not been about love. It had been about duty, control. But this felt different. When Ronan looked at her, she felt seen. When he touched her, she felt safe. When he was gone, she felt incomplete. Was that love? On the 3rd day, Ronan returned. Celestine was in the garden when she heard the carriage. She dropped her basket, ran to the front of the manor. Ronan climbed down from the carriage. He looked tired, but he was smiling. "Did you?" Celestine started. "Yes." He held up a leather bag. "Enough to pay the debt, with some left over." Relief flooded through her. "Thank God." "Thank you," Ronan said. "This was only possible because of you." "We did it together." "Yes, together." He stepped closer, took her hand. "Celestine, I need to tell you something." His voice was serious. Fear prickled down her spine. "What?" "When I was in London, I made inquiries. About your father, Lord Henry Ashford." Celestine's breath caught. "Why?" "Because I needed to know if you were still in danger, if he was still searching for you." "And?" Ronan's grip on her hand tightened. "He is dead, Celestine. He died 2 years ago. Heart failure. The world tilted. Dead. Her father was dead. She should have felt relieved, safe. Instead, she felt nothing. "What about the man I was supposed to marry?" she asked quietly. "Married to someone else. He lives in Scotland now. He has no interest in you. You are free, Celestine. Truly free." Free. The word did not feel real. She had spent 5 years running, hiding, being afraid, and now she did not have to anymore. "I do not know what to do," she whispered. "You do not have to do anything. You can stay here, keep working in the garden, keep living as Celestine Gray. Or you can reclaim your name, your title, your inheritance, whatever you want. It is your choice now." Choice. She had it. Finally. Celestine looked at Ronan, at his dark eyes, his strong face, the way he looked at her like she was precious. "What do you want?" she asked. "I want you to be happy." "That is not an answer." Ronan smiled slightly. "You are right. It is not." He took a breath. "I want you to stay. Here. With me. Not as a servant. As my wife." Celestine's heart stopped. "What?" "Marry me, Celestine. I know it is fast. I know we have only known each other a few weeks. But I have never felt this way about anyone. You make me want to be better, to do better. You make this empty house feel like a home." Tears filled her eyes. "Ronan." "You do not have to answer now. Think about it. Take all the time you need." "Yes." He blinked. "Yes?" "Yes. I will marry you." A huge smile broke across his face. He lifted her up, spun her around. Celestine laughed, actually laughed. It felt strange, wonderful. When he set her down, he kissed her, deep, passionate, full of promise. When they broke apart, they were both grinning. "We should tell Mrs. Hartwell," Ronan said. "She will faint." "Probably." They walked hand in hand into the manor, but as they reached the door, a carriage pulled up the drive. A fancy carriage, black, with gold trim. Celestine's smile faded. "Who is that?" she asked. "I do not know." The carriage stopped. A footman opened the door. A man stepped out. He was tall, thin, with silver hair and cold blue eyes. Celestine's blood went cold. She knew this man. "Lord Pemberton," she whispered. Ronan looked at her sharply. "Who?" "The man I was supposed to marry." No. No, no, no. This was not possible. Pemberton was supposed to be in Scotland, married, gone. But here he was, walking toward them, a cruel smile on his thin lips. "Celestine," he said. His voice was smooth, like silk. "How lovely to see you again." Ronan stepped in front of Celestine. His body was tense, ready to fight. "You are not welcome here," Ronan said. Pemberton's cold eyes flicked to him. "And who are you?" "Ronan Thornbury, master of this estate. Leave. Now." "I think not. I have business with Celestine." "She wants nothing to do with you." "Does she not?" Pemberton looked past Ronan, at Celestine. "Why do you not ask her?" Celestine could not speak, could not move. Seeing him again was like being thrown back in time, to that terrified 17-year-old girl, to the fear, the helplessness. "Celestine," Ronan said gently, "are you all right?" She forced herself to nod. Then she stepped forward, beside Ronan, not behind. She would not hide anymore. "How did you find me?" she asked. Her voice was steadier than she felt. "It was not difficult," Pemberton said. "I heard rumors. A beautiful herbalist working at an old manor. A woman who kept to herself, who locked her garden. It sounded like you. So I came to see." Your wife is dead. Died in childbirth a year ago, along with the baby. Something flickered in his eyes. Grief. Real grief. It surprised Celestine. I am sorry, she said. Are you? Pemberton's voice was bitter. You ran from me, humiliated your family, and now you say you are sorry? I had to leave. You were cruel to me. I loved you. That was not love, that was possession. Pemberton's jaw clenched. You knew nothing about love. You were a child. I was a prisoner. Enough, Ronan said. His voice was hard. You need to leave. Celestine is under my protection now. Pemberton laughed. Your protection? What gives you the right? She is going to be my wife. Pemberton's eyes widened, then narrowed. Is that so? Yes. Did she tell you who she really is? What family she comes from? Yes, she told me everything. And you still want to marry her? A runaway? A disgrace? She is not a disgrace. She is the bravest person I know. Pemberton looked between them, his face twisted with anger. And something else. Jealousy. You do not deserve her, Pemberton said quietly. Neither did you, Ronan said. They glared at each other. Celestine felt like she was watching two wolves circle. Why are you here? She asked. What do you want? Pemberton turned to her. His expression softened, just a little. I want you to come home. Celestine's breath caught. What? Your father's estate. It is yours now. He left it to you in his will. But you disappeared, so it has been sitting empty, waiting. I do not want it. It is worth 30,000 pounds. The number hung in the air. 30,000 pounds. A fortune. I do not care about the money, Celestine said. Then think about the people who worked there, the servants, the tenants. They need someone to take responsibility, someone to care for them. Your father did not, but you could. Celestine had not thought about that, about the people. Why do you care? She asked. Pemberton was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, Because I have spent 5 years regretting how I treated you. I was young, arrogant. I thought I could control you, mold you into what I wanted. I was wrong. And by the time I realized it, you were gone. He looked genuinely remorseful. I cannot change the past, he continued, but I can try to do right by you now. Come back. Take your inheritance. Do good with it. That is all I ask. Celestine did not know what to say. This was not the Pemberton she remembered. That man had been cold, cruel, controlling. This man seemed broken, tired. I need to think, she said. Of course. Pemberton glanced at Ronan. But think carefully. A title and 30,000 pounds. Or a ruined estate with a master drowning in his father's debts. Ronan's face went hard. Pemberton smiled slightly, nodded, walked back to his carriage. He paused at the door, looked back. You have 3 days, he said. Then the estate will be sold, and you will lose everything. The carriage pulled away. Celestine and Ronan stood in silence. Finally, Ronan said, He is right. What? About me, about this place. I am drowning, Celestine. I just paid off one debt, but there are others, so many others. The manor is falling apart, the land is not producing. I am trying, but I do not know if it is enough. Ronan, if you take your inheritance, you could do so much good, help so many people. You would not be trapped here, with me, with my problems. Celestine grabbed his face, made him look at her. Listen to me, she said fiercely. I do not care about titles, or money, or estates. I care about you. I choose you. You do not have to choose. You can have both. Take your inheritance. Use it to help your father's people. I will wait for you. I will always wait for you." "No." Tears streamed down her face. "No. I spent 5 years running. I will not run anymore. I will not leave you." "Then let me come with you." That stopped her. "What?" Ronan took her hands. "Come with me. We will go to your father's estate together. We will fix it, help the people there, and then we will come back here. We will fix this place too, together, like we did with the debt." "That will take years." "I know. It will be hard." "I know." "You would do that? Leave your home? For me?" "This is not my home," Ronan said softly. "You are." Celestine's heart broke open. She kissed him, poured everything into it, all her love, all her fear, all her hope. When they broke apart, they were both crying. "Is that a yes?" Ronan whispered. "Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes." He laughed, kissed her again. "We should tell Mrs. Hartwell," he said. "She is definitely going to faint." Definitely. They walked into the manor, hand in hand, ready to face whatever came next, together. That night, Celestine went to the garden one last time. She would be leaving soon, going to her father's estate with Ronan, starting a new life. But first, she needed to say goodbye to this place. The garden had saved her, given her purpose, given her peace. She would always be grateful for that. Celestine walked the familiar paths, touched the roses, smelled the lavender. The moon was full. Everything glowed silver. She walked to the willow tree, to the stone bench, where Ronan had sat, where they had kissed, where everything had changed. She sat down, looked up at the stars, and then she saw it. A piece of paper, stuck in the branches of the willow tree. A letter. Celestine's heart skipped. She stood up, reached for it, pulled it down. The paper was new, the ink was fresh. She unfolded it and began to read. "Dearest Celestine, I found your letter in this garden, the one you buried 5 years ago. I read it, every word, and I understood. You were running from pain, from control, from a life that was not yours. I have been running too, from different things, but running all the same. When I saw you in this garden, something in me recognized something in you. 2 broken people, 2 runners. But you taught me something. You taught me that running is not the same as cowardice. Sometimes running is survival. Sometimes it is the bravest thing you can do. You ran. You survived. You rebuilt yourself. And now you are helping me rebuild too. I do not have pretty words. I am not a poet. But I know this. I love you. I loved you the moment I saw you standing in this garden with lavender in your hair. I loved you when you lied to save me from a fight. I loved you when you offered me your grandmother's ring. I loved you when you told me your truth. And I will love you every day for the rest of my life. This garden is where I found your letter, where I found your secret. But it is also where I found you. And finding you was finding home. Forever yours, Ronan." Celestine read the letter 3 times. Tears poured down her face. She pressed the paper to her chest, over her heart. He loved her. He had written it down, made it real, permanent. She heard footsteps behind her, turned. Ronan stood at the gate, his dark eyes soft in the moonlight. "You found it," he said. "When did you write this?" "Last night. I could not sleep. I kept thinking about your letter, the one you buried, how it was full of pain, and I wanted you to have a new letter, one full of love." Celestine could not speak. She walked to him, threw her arms around his neck. He held her tight. "I love you too," she whispered. "I was afraid to say it, afraid it was too soon, too fast. But I do. I love you so much." Ronan pulled back, looked at her face. "Say it again." "I love you." "Again." "I love you." He kissed her, deep, slow, perfect. When they broke apart, they were both smiling. "What do we do now?" Celestine asked. "We go forward, together. We face whatever comes, and we build a life worth living." "That sounds perfect." They walked through the garden hand in hand. Celestine looked back once, at the rose bushes where she had buried her old letter. That letter had been full of goodbye, of endings. But this new letter was full of hello, of beginnings. She had hidden her past in a letter, but Ronan had found it in the garden. And in finding it, he had found her, and she had found him. And together, they had found home. Celestine stood in the garden. Not the garden at Thornbury Manor, the garden at Ashford Estate. Her father's estate, her estate now. It had taken a year of hard work, but the place was thriving. The servants were happy, the tenants were prosperous, the land was producing again. Ronan had kept his promise. He had come with her, helped her rebuild, and when they finished here, they would go back to Thornbury Manor, rebuild that too, together, always together. Celestine heard footsteps behind her. Ronan's arms wrapped around her waist. He rested his chin on her shoulder. "Are you happy?" he asked. "Yes. Are you?" "More than I ever thought possible." Celestine leaned back against him, smiled. She had spent so many years hiding, running, being afraid. But not anymore. She had found her courage, her voice, her home, all in a garden. All because of a letter. "What are you thinking about?" Ronan asked. "About letters," Celestine said. "About secrets. About how sometimes the things we bury are the things that save us." "Deep thoughts." "Maybe." He kissed her temple. "I have something for you." "What?" He pulled a small box from his pocket, opened it. Inside was a ring, gold, with a blue stone, her grandmother's ring. "How?" Celestine breathed. "I bought it back, from the jeweler in London. It took me months to track it down. But I did." Tears filled her eyes. "You did not have to do that." "Yes, I did. This ring is part of you, part of your history. I wanted you to have it back." He slipped the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly. "Thank you," Celestine whispered. "For what?" "For seeing me, for loving me, for giving me back pieces of myself I thought I had lost." Ronan turned her around, looked into her eyes. "You gave me the same," he said. "Before you, I was just existing, going through motions. But you taught me how to live, how to love, how to be brave." "We taught each other." "Yes, we did." They kissed, soft, sweet, full of promise. When they broke apart, Celestine looked down at the ring on her finger, then at the wedding band beside it. 2 rings, 2 parts of her life, past and present, together. "Shall we go inside?" Ronan asked. "Cook made your favorite dinner." "In a moment. I want to stay here just a little longer." "Then I will stay with you." They stood in the garden, watching the sun set. 2 people who had been running, 2 people who had found each other, 2 people who had found home. All because of a letter hidden in a garden. And a man brave enough to read it. And a woman brave enough to let him.